on his computer, Peter on his phone, and my dad on his phone. Kids these days. What am I supposed to do with them?
Maybe if you had longer hair, I would be distracted a little bit more. But
What the hell? Okay, you got my full attention.
Finally, wait, what's my long hair? What's
no, it's
is it an inside joke?
No, it was. I guess a bad joke. But it's all good.
I didn't really catch that, guys. Welcome to the podcast. Antonio is running late. He's trying to figure
very soon though.
He's shoveling the snow. We've had I don't know how many days of snow.
3 in a week.
Now.
It's only 3. Only 3 days.
I mean,
of snow?
maybe 3-4 days of snow, but
feels long
in the week.
The snow's still on the floor, so it definitely feels longer.
More is coming. Don't worry.
Oh, no. I don't remember when we signed up to live in Canada.
Well, was it?
This came out of
I mean,
nowhere.
New York has always been.
I don't know.
There's
I
more
feel like
than
we've been really good like the past couple weeks.
We could have been in Sicily, but your father decided to come over here, I guess, for you. Right?
The last 5 years we've been good.
Right? I feel like things have calmed down.
Very few snow days.
2016 was really bad.
There was one year that it snowed on Halloween. I don't know if you guys remember that.
Yes.
But that was it was really bad for a little while. And I think we got like used to not having the snow for a little bit. So are we gonna move? I think we should move our podcast setup to Miami.
I'm down.
I'm there.
Mike,
I wouldn't be opposed to it.
can you imagine? That would be fun.
Okay, can we get Beckham also to participate if we go to?
You see,
Miami?
now we're thinking. Everybody's over there now. We can enjoy the sun. We can still do our podcast, and we leave Antonio here.
Yeah.
That might
Well,
be the
since he's
best idea,
so good at shoveling, he could shovel all our houses. He's here, and we go to Florida, and then he can go on with the stream like this. How we doing here with the link?
This is a brilliant idea.
I think it's the best idea since IFTV. This is the best idea.
I totally agree. So we'll see if Antonio joins us. I mean, he will. Hopefully, he doesn't have any complications pressing the power button onto his onto his camera. Nobody else seems to have a problem.
Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised on Marco, to be honest with you.
Yeah, if we start seeing calls, we might have a problem. What were we gonna say, Dad?
No, I'm gonna say the next time I'll have more colorful background.
Okay, I don't know what that means. I feel like there was a joke in there, but I didn't catch it.
He's gonna put Antonio's background, I guess, or something similar to
is there something coming?
And no, that's it.
Oh, we just had you at the studio. I think people will be excited. I know Michael's got some topics for us to discuss. Like, we're going live for every podcast on Monday and Thursday of every week, just so that we have a set schedule. Antonio is here. His camera's not on, so I'll wait till he sorts his camera issue first. But we just had you in the studio, and we're recording a really nice documentary tribute style. Let's not say who the player is for, but
it's looking sick so far.
It's looking sick, and it's a player that's very special to you. Were you what can you tell them without giving them anything?
Well, let's say that he is one of the 5-10 best players of all time.
Okay, that's it. No more is to be said. Michael, why don't you take
five for me, 10 for most people. Probably for most people will be in the top 10. For me, it's top 5.
Okay, wow. Fair enough. Shout out to everybody in the chat that's dropping the comments. Mike, where are we starting from today?
Okay. Let's a lot of people talking about the title, but I don't want to go with that yet.
What's your title?
I want to talk a little bit about Barella to you about the Juventus. Exactly? Well, we said Barella to Juventus ?
Oh my god!
I know.
Mike with a little clickbait over there.
Should I hit you now?
I put a question mark, but I kind of want to talk to some Coppa Italia and talk about Gattuso. I know we talked about it, but what do you call it, Gaetano? We didn't hear your take. We know that they lost to Atalanta, and what do you call it? And Gattuso's job is sort of on the line. And a lot of the reports are saying Juventus could beat the last straw for him, depending on how he does there. But Ludovico, actually, we're talking to him, and he said Gattuso's not going anywhere till the summer. Tell us a little bit about what do you think about Gattuso, if he should stay, and do you think it could be the last straw against Juventus?
If I had something to say, definitely Gattuso should stay. And De Laurentiis should go away. Maybe they can get another owner, a better owner than this guy. Gattuso always accepts responsibility. Always, he was in the semi-final of the Coppa Italia. He's still in the European League. He could still get fourth place, depending on what happens. They got one less game, so he could still get fourth place. So, he lost Koulibaly, he lost Manolas. Manolas. So
There we go.
no, I am with Gattuso all the way.
I think, I don't know if you saw, but we had Ludovico on, and he had an interesting idea for the solution. He says Gattuso to stay, obviously, but what he said was that at Napoli, what's missing currently is a leader a la Nedved, Zanetti, somebody, Maldini, somebody that really understands Napoli and in a leadership role and teaches them on that sense, which I think is a really interesting idea. And I guess we don't see that at Napoli currently. One person that he spoke about was Hamsik, who could potentially be somebody that does that. I think it's a good balance of a possible solution. Peter or Gaetano, any ideas on that? Because Michael and I commented on it already.
Gattuso is the leader. He's the leader.
Is he though? I mean,
yeah.
But you still need somebody in the organization that has a stronger hold.
I agree with Gaetano as far as Gattuso being a leader, but I think you also need to hear it from someone else or see someone else in like maybe the director role more than just your coach, just to be able to balance it. Because there's certain things that maybe Gattuso as the coach has to act in a certain way because of that relationship between the coach and player, compared to maybe a dirigent or someone that has more Napoli or for the fans and the relationship between the ownership to the coach and ownership to the players. So yeah, I mean, I see some mentions is pretty good. I mean, Paolo Cannavaro maybe could be one of those, or an ex-Napoli player. But in the end, like your dad said, the problem is De Laurentiis not being able to just relax a little bit. Napoli are in a position where they should be in the Campionato. Yes, they get kicked out of the Coppa Italia semi-final to Atalanta 3-1. Poor performances versus Juve. Poor performances even versus Atalanta, these two legs. But missing some key players, and they need a little tranquility more than anything else.
One thing I want to say on Gattuso, I want to read the quote that he said after the game when they asked him if the last match that he had was to play against Juventus for his life per se. He said, "I don't know. You have to ask Napoli that. I'm the captain of the ship, so it's only right that when things go bad, it is my responsibility." The one thing I want to say is that honestly, there is no coach in football that takes more responsibility and is more mature than Rino Gattuso. We saw it at Milan, where he rejected money. He took the burden of the blame, even when at times that he was not the only one to blame. He is a winner in that mindset. And I think sometimes he does take the blame too much. But I mean, this is an example for any coach. Like, say what you want about his tactics, say what you want about how his teams play, whatever. And I've criticized, the way his team plays, but I will never take away from Gattuso the man. Gattuso the man is untouched, and there are a lot of coaches who have won a lot more that should learn from Gattuso himself. And that's one thing that I just want to say for everybody. He will never lose my respect. Excuse me, for the way that he acts.
No, I couldn't agree with you more, Marco. I really hope ADL gives him until the summer to see where they finish top 4, because I think that's what he deserves. Because at the end of the day, he's done something that Sarri hasn't. And how many years Sarri's been there, he's actually won a trophy, which I think is pretty incredible. So I think that for the Napoli fans' sake, they give him until the summer to see how they do, and from there regroup and see how they want to continue.
Guys, what I'm going to do is I'm going to go call Antonio and figure out his camera while you guys
continue. No problem.
He's still looking for the power bar.
Okay, so we talked about one side of the Coppa Italia. Now I want to talk a little bit about I want to talk a little bit about Juventus now, who are in the final. And a lot of people are talking about this is the reason why there could have been a fight. And a lot of people tuned in because of this title. So there were some reports today from a lot of sources that during the Coppa Italia match with Inter and Juventus, we did the live stream for that. They were saying that Paratici actually tried contacted Barella, and so they can kind of break the relationship with Inter and try to bring him on to Juventus. And apparently that's where the scuffle between Orial.
He's
Yeah,
on.
I
He's
think
on.
he is
Antonio
here.
is
Wow.
here.
Okay. Anto's jumping in
Guys,
over here.
literally one button.
Okay. Anto, how you doing?
Anto,
All right, I'm still alive, trying to figure out how to put the turn on and off button. You know, that's kind
This
of
is
too
only
much
like your
for me.
fifth time, right?
I know. All right. Okay.
welcome, Antonio. We've already spoken about Napoli. I don't know
Yeah.
if you guys were finishing.
I was
I
I was talking about Barella. I was bringing him up.
Oh boy.
Yeah, I was saying, so basically there was some reports that the fight between this was Paratici trying to lure Barella into Torino, and that's why maybe some of the scuffle happened between Agnelli.
We lost him already.
We did it?
No. He just walked out.
Oh, okay. Between Agnelli and Conte and stuff like that. First of all, what do we think about this? Apparently, Barella grew up an Inter fan, and do you think this? I feel like this adds more to the flame and made it so much crazier.
Let's break this up into two things.
Yeah.
Let's break this up into the rumors of them wanting Barella, and then also the whole
fight,
aspect with the
right?
fight.
Yeah.
So number one, Juve wanting Barella. This is the most obvious thing in world football. Who wouldn't want one of the best players? I mean, it is normal for any team to want the player. Just because the reports say that Paratici tried to speak to Barella absolutely means zero.
Mhm.
It means 0.0. Barella grew up an Inter fan. He's got a great thing that he's going at Inter. To go to Inter from Juventus is crazy. But what I'm saying is that just because the rumors say that they contacted him doesn't mean that a player is going. It's normal for newspapers
sure.
to say that.
Yeah.
Peter?
Yeah. Well, I mean, I think the biggest thing is there's an unspoken rule that you cannot speak to a player that's under contract, especially when it's Juventus to Inter. Does it happen? You know, sometimes it does, sometimes it doesn't. But I think definitely there was something taken offense from Inter's side, definitely. And given the relationship that the clubs have, they didn't like that. But I agree with you. I mean, Juventus, you know, they have every right to want to go after Barella. Did they do the right thing? Paratici trying to contact Barella directly? Probably not. But, you know, he's not going to Juventus. Like you said, he's an Inter fan since birth, since very young. He's a mainstay in the national team. He's playing already with a team that has ambitions to get into to win Champions League, to win Scudetto in the future. So, you know, there's no reason for him to jump ship.
There's a great comment here from, I think, Atlin. He said, I would swap Krunic for Barella. Would you do that swap, Peter?
I don't think so.
I think Antonio
Alright.
would do it in a heartbeat.
Listen, guys, let me just give you my 5 cents for whatever it's worth. First of all, there
Pay
is
up.
no such a
How
thing
much?
of loyalty when it comes down to money. Okay? Barella, you show him the right amount. Yeah. Barella, you show him the right amount of money. Didn't you say that Cassano was an Inter fan too? What happened? He went up playing for AC Milan. He played
That's
for
a
Roma. He
different
played.
situation, but
What do you mean it's a different situation? Soccer and money, right now, they're exactly the same situation. Don't make a
Yes.
BS talking. Baggio went from Fiorentina. They never said that we leave Florence. He went from Fiorentina to Juventus.
yeah, but
So
when
what does
Inter
that
can
say?
pay the money, Inter can pay the same amount of money as Juventus.
I don't
Juventus
think
not gonna
so.
Overspend. I think so.
Listen. First of all, the general manager of Inter right now is an ex-Juventus crook, Moggi. Okay, so
Not
Paratici, all
Moggi,
he's
by
trying
the
to
way.
do.
It's
I'm
By
sorry.
the way, look at the camera when you talk, if you can.
Yeah, what's his name? Marotta.
Marotta.
Okay, yeah, okay. So Marotta, all it is another crook that now, instead of being faithful to Juventus, is faithful to Inter. Not because he really loves Inter, because Inter is paying him, and because Agnelli that didn't want his
He's a
service
professional.
anymore.
He's a professional.
And that's what I'm saying. So Barella's a professional. If he's getting paid more than Juventus, I think he should go over there, number one. Number two, Barella will win a lot more trophies if he goes to Juventus rather than stay in Inter. Inter has always been this unstable team that once every 20 years they win something, and all of a sudden, you know, it's like they won God only knows. So I think it will be a better chance for Barella to go in a team like AC Milan or Juventus and
Like
and win
Donnarumma,
something.
right? Donnarumma
But
going to
Donnarumma,
Juve.
for example, is another one that I'm afraid he might not sign with AC Milan for the next after in 2 years. So because you know AC Milan, I don't think they can offer all the money that the rest of the world can offer. Hey, by the way, an update for everybody, your father included, Marco. Donnarumma is being rated right now number 1 in the world, not in Italy or Europe.
By
number
who?
1 in the world, much better than Alisson and company.
By who?
By
By
who?
who?
By everybody. What do you mean? It's number is the best goalkeeper.
That's like,
not-
that's like the
not-
meme.
Cassano is doing the rating.
Well,
That's like
Cassano's-
that's like the meme.
yeah.
Like, oh, what's your source? Trust me, bro.
Anto,
Antonio
there's
right
also
now.
new source that Manolas is number 1 center back in the world also, by the way.
we're in Greece.
No,
No,
according
no.
to everyone.
No. That guy never plays to begin with. How the hell is going to be the number 1? Number
That's
1.
how good he is. Could you imagine
He
when
never
he plays?
plays. He never
Guys,
plays.
I wanna make it a goal of our podcast to talk about like the football aspect of stuff a little bit more. This is I think it can't go much longer. This Barella story we can't talk about for much longer. We can talk about the whole situation that happened between Juventus and Inter, because I mean we all saw number one, Juventus knocked Inter out of the Coppa Italia. Let's touch on the controversy first, just to get it out of the way, but I don't want to go too deep on it. There was a whole situation with Conte at halftime where we show him giving the middle finger. Obviously, Agnelli was seen mad afterwards, and you know some newspapers are reporting that he was yelling back at Conte. And I think that I'm just so disappointed in everybody on this. Honestly, I mean, I woke up the next morning, and number one, every newspaper, every journalist, every fan is talking about the fight. Nobody even remembers to talk about the game. I think it's gotten embarrassing. And honestly, for me, the thing that I think is like there are just so many people out there who never played at a competitive level, because all of a sudden we're starting to hear this guy said this thing, this guy, and everybody getting so mad and offended by it. But this exists always. We have to focus on the game. Nobody talks about how the team played, who played well. It's all become about the drama of it. And for me, there's no drama. Players are mad. I mean, I know so many Juve fans are mad at Conte. Guys, it's part of the game. You know, you do things that you don't really mean. You're in the heat of the moment and you do something, and guess what? Sometimes afterwards you look at it and you're like, maybe I shouldn't have. But as competitors and as people that want to win, it's normal to do that in the heat of the moment. So for me, it's a nothing story. For me, what's more interesting is talking about the game. That's my take on the situation. If you guys want to comment, you can.
Well, let me tell you something. If you look in the Gazzetta dello Sport or the Corriere dello Sport, all you've seen is just this gossip, something that you read. But a lot of people are interested in gossip. I'm the number one. I'm one of the best interested by person interested in the gossip. I saw even Vandanara said, that Riccardi put a like on one of the tweets and then Vandanara, she was wearing she was on the balcony with the snow that is white outside, that she was wearing black. And they said, today's all white outside and I'm wearing black. In other words, she liked it that Juventus technically beat Inter. And I kind of agree with that because, sometimes you can just take a dig and make from a stupid comment like that, make all the tifoseria to be interested. No, if you are a fan, that's what you're looking forward to. And I think, what's her name? Vanda, she knows how to steer the trouble. So not to say something else. All right.
But, okay, if you're interested, that's why I said.
Yeah. But the game, and definitely, I agree with you, Marco. The game, you should be talking about the technical aspect. I think Juventus deserved it. I mean,
let Gaetano and Peter and Mike say something. Do you have anything on the drama aspect?
No, listen, like you said, it's the heat of the moment thing where Conte shouldn't have stuck up the finger. The Agnelli shouldn't have said what he said, but things happen. And I think, listen, the journalists in Italy, obviously, we know this already. Everything, they want to create the drama. They got to sell newspapers. That's their job. The game, even though it was, we were engaged in it on the live stream. We were like jumping from left and right. But it was kind of like how a caveman, if he's going to start a fire, he starts seeing a little smoke and you think you're going to get the fire. Nothing happened. And that's what happened. We had a 0-0 draw. So
nothing happened for you, I should say. Besides going home.
I think it's, even though whatever, they're not supposed to do that, I feel like it adds so much more to the atmosphere. You want to be more engaged in it. Like it gets more interesting at the end of the day. Going to doing the finger, I think it was like the cherry on top to make that feud between Inter and Juve.
I understand your point.
Yeah,
I guess the thing that I want to say is, why is everybody getting so mad? Like as if this never would happen inside. Like that. This hasn't been happening for years and years and years. Again, to me, it's just people who have never been there before, and they see this happening, and they want to build on top of it. Yeah, there's rivalries. Like, of course there's rivalries. There's a player who was a captain of a team and went to another team, and they're both fighting for the league, and you're fighting to get kicked out of the Coppa Italia. So obviously,
I find it fun.
And there's been some bad blood.
Real
There's been
fun.
some bad blood.
Dad, anything from you, or can we talk about the game?
No, as far as that is concerned, I think social media likes that. They like to sell newspapers, so they put that on the front page, and people are curious to read it. So that's what the reason why they do it. I'm more interested in the game. Those things are happen all the time. Sometimes you see it. Sometimes it happens in the locker room, and it happens on the way to the locker room. Before, I think it used to happen more on the way to the locker rooms. Now, with social media, if there is, they catch everything, and so that everybody can see it. But you need to be professional. I think in front of the camera, you need to be a little bit more professional. And then behind the camera, on the way to the locker room, if you want to tell him off, I guess you could tell him off.
Can you imagine Antonio will be put in jail if all his games were recorded for the amount of things that he's probably said to opponents?
I never said anything. I'm one of the most honest person over there. Gaetano can testify to that. Gaetano, do I ever get in trouble when I'm on the field?
Yes.
Listen, Marco, let me tell you something. Let me tell you something. This morning, okay, I went to bed at 4:30 because I was watching the
Australian Open.
No, let me tell you something. I was watching the Australian Open. I was watching what's his name, Caruso against Fognini. Those guys, they went to 5 sets, and on the tie break, Fognini won 13-11. But after the game, they went almost at each other. Those are two Italians trying to go to the next round, that they started to tell themselves off, with bad words. So as an Italian, I understood every single word. But, I got to tell you something. Conte and Agnelli, they know that that they are on camera, and they do this on my thing intentionally, just to draw the attention, because they know that what they are saying is being scrutinized by everybody. I think those two guys, they should be the first one to shut the hell up and let the game do the talk. Because at the end of the day, the field speaks, Inter got beat up, Juventus moved to the final, and that should have been the end of it. But like Gaetano said, this is not about the social media and the newspaper and the rating and the selling. So they know that they are part of this, and they make this kind of a gesture, whether it's the middle finger, whether it's the first finger or the second finger, whatever finger they use, Conte. He knows that the camera is on him, and he knows that he's still on the field while he's doing those things. Why is he doing it? I guess he's doing just to draw attention that it's not necessary. So I think you should be the first one to be censored. I said, hey, you're the coach, shut the hell up. Just take the loss, go in the locker room. If you have something to say, pick up the phone and tell him privately what you are in the bathroom or what you're in the locker room or whether you are in private. I don't do that kind of crap.
I do completely disagree. I think they completely forget that they're on camera. I think that they live inside the moment, and that's what you do when you really want to win and when you're at that level. I mean, even when you're not at that level, I mean, there's way worse that has been said on local fields over here in New York than there are with the things that are online. So for me, I don't want to comment on it anymore, to be honest. I don't want to even give it enough light. On the game, on the match, 0-0, a game where Juventus had some chances. Obviously Juventus had some chances, but Juventus, what really impressed me about the team was defensively. They've shown it for a couple of games now, but they defensively are so solid. De Ligt and Demiral had phenomenal games. I mean, two of the best of them two together for sure. Probably the best game I've ever seen from Demiral. I mean, it was absolutely superb. And I think Pirlo is really, the team is organized right now. The team is extremely, extremely organized. They're going through a good period. They're understanding how each other work a lot better, I think, than prior. And it's so cliche, and I commented this. It's cliche for a reason. Defense wins championships. Like, yes, Juventus hasn't won anything yet, but they're building that foundation to be able to set themselves up for something good. And they're getting it at the right time. It's normal that first days, of course, with the new coach, with the new system, there's confusion. And I think at times, you know, they could be fixing things that can be better. And I think attacking wise, things can be more fluid. But building from the back is always a good thing, in my opinion. And that's how I saw the game. Peter, from the Inter perspective, what did you think?
Yeah, let's say Juventus. Let's start from Juventus, as you said. I think Demiral, De Ligt are your center backs for now and for the future. And defensively, you guys are very sound. I think De Ligt, Demiral pretty much neutralized a very, strong Lukaku, right? We saw what Lukaku was able to do these past 2 years, and they shut him down. With that being said, Juventus, for me, they knew that they needed to get through, and that was their biggest option, and that was what they were looking to do, get through. So they didn't need a score. They were willing to sit back, wait for the opponent, just strategically place them on the field. And Pirlo did a good job with that, where I was a critic as far as him trying to reinvent something, always trying to create this new way of playing and stuff like that. Sometimes you have to go to the basics first and create a foundation to be able to build on that foundation. Now, with that being said, I think Inter, even though the scoreline doesn't show it, had a good game. I mean, if we're going to take any positives out of that game, we're going to say that a midfield of Eriksen, Brozovic, Barella can work. Eriksen can play both as a regista and also as the box-to-box or, the 8 in the midfield. So that is something that I was excited about. I think, we don't have to play with a Gagliardini in the midfield. You can play with quality players and still defend and play the ball the right way. I'm upset that we weren't able to play Lukaku and Hakimi the first leg, because I think in under 2 legs, we would have had that advantage. I think Lautaro has been very, very streaky this year, where he either shows up or he's missing the whole game. And he missed 2 wide open chances where one, he kicks the floor, and then the second time it's a wide open volley and he just shanks it. And if you want to be a top striker, you have to make sure that you put those goals away. It's very similar to how he missed versus Shakhtar going back in the Champions League group stage, 0-0. Maybe that game gets won and Inter are through and a bit richer going through to the next stage of the Champions League. But that being said, Inter needed to score. They didn't score. They didn't get the job done. Conte must win the Scudetto.
Michael feels like he has something very funny to add.
No, I just read a comment.
Can you read the comment? Are you allowed to read the comment?
I could. I mean, they said,
just read it.
If Lautaro's worth 100 million, I'm a coconut. I just couldn't help but smile at that. I thought that was funny.
Antonio,
why didn't you put it on the screen?
I thought it was a little more appropriate.
All right.
To put me on the spot. I was like, I'm not gonna make something.
I saw you giggling, so I knew something was funny. Antonio, your turn to talk. I put you in the big camera. Tell us.
Tell them what happened with between Juventus and Inter. I mean, you guys pretty much analyzed everything. When I have to be,
all right, we'll move on.
That's a first.
No, it's just listen, Inter. All of the if this and if that. I mean, everybody gets to play. With the player that they have available. If Lautaro was there, if Lukaku was there, this is really meaningless. At the end of the day, if they were not disqualified, or if they were not healthy, if they have COVID, for whatever reasons they were not part of the game, is because they did what they did before and they got punished. So
Juve were also missing a lot of players, though.
Yeah, well, see, that's what I'm saying.
But
Juve was not making, but they were not making a point. Look, listen, Lautaro, it's like you said, Peter. It's a very streaky guy. He had 2 very, very good chances. The first one, he threw himself on the floor, and then he was trying to beg for a penalty. And then the VAR showed that the guy just kicked to the ground. He was trying to find the petroleum down there, over there. And then on the second time, he really, with the goal widely open, he just totally missed he misshoot the ball, and the ball went totally on a different direction. So, just blame Lautaro. What can I tell you? You guys, I think you are overpaying those guys. And, when you need those 2 big guns, when the target is right in front of you, and you need to kill your opponent. So when, as I told you, winning against Crotone or Parma or other teams 4-0, 5-0, and then all of this bragging after the game, that doesn't mean anything. When the target is in front of you and the price is big, that's what you have to pull the trigger. If you cannot pull the trigger on that, I mean, those people that you paid so much money, to me, they're worth nothing.
Dad, can you do me a favor? I'm gonna let you talk. Can you read the comment that's on screen right now?
He talks the most. Glory and you're the best.
Thank you, guys.
Out loud?
Yeah.
All right. So it says, Anto, why don't you make your bed?
Well, listen, I got up at 3:30 this morning, okay? I got up at 3:30 to watch the tennis game, and then I fell asleep and I had to run out of the house. I just come back from podcast right now after digging my wife's cars out of the snow. So that's why I don't have a mate like you guys.
Anyway, going back to the game.
Let me make my bed.
Inter
leave it.
Inter had to push. Inter had to score 2 goals, so they did have to try and take chances. What's positive for Juventus is that if you were thinking about what's going to happen after Bonucci and Chiellini, now you have some idea that there's some players there that for the future of of Juventus.
I don't think he hears this. He doesn't have this earphone. So we can say whatever we want about Antonio right now.
I was just kidding, Antonio.
Oh my gosh.
As far as Inter is concerned, I'm worried about Inter because when you win and you keep winning, the confidence keeps building up, and that's confidence for the Milan and confidence for Juventus. When you don't win and you're out of the European League, you're out of the Coppa Italia, you're second, and you have some big games coming up, there's going to be a lot of pressure put into Inter. And the way Conte is behaving, he gets thrown out of the game, he gets a red card, he gets giving the fingers. There's a lot of nervosism in that team, and I'm not sure if it's in the locker room or if it's with the top management and the owner. But I'm not that confident about Inter for the future.
For this year too?
Yeah, for this year.
Wow. I mean, we just heard Peter say that he must win the Scudetto.
That's right. That's what I'm saying. There's a lot of pressure now. You must. And I don't see, you need to see Conte being that leader that gives the confidence to the team. And right now I see him nervous.
Yeah, there's definitely some tension, right?
Yeah, tension is a better word. Yes.
Yeah, there's a lot of tension. There's 2 big games coming up. I don't know if you guys have it in the captions or stuff, or if you want me to wait.
Say. Go.
But there's 2 big games coming up where Inter have to versus Lazio, which is arguably the most informed team at the moment.
They are.
And then they are. Okay. And then next week they got to verse Milan.
Yeah.
Who's been the best team in Italy so far. So these are big games.
You don't win those 2 games, you're not going anywhere.
Oh, yeah. And it's going to create a lot of problems also. The only thing that I can say is Inter only have the Scudetto to worry about, to play. They're only going to be playing the Serie A games. This is the chance now that in February, Europe comes back into play. Maybe Juventus slips. Maybe Milan slips. The teams that are in Europe. But Inter have to concentrate on their own path, number 1, and beat Lazio and beat Milan coming up. Or else it's going to be hard.
Well, 2 things in favor of Inter, in favor of Juventus and Milan. Juventus has the turnover, so they have the players. And remember that Dybala hasn't played much. Dybala is still out there. And AC Milan showed that even when Ibra is out and they have some top players out, they can still win games.
Yes.
Did you say two things?
Yeah, AC Milan and Juventus.
Okay, fair enough. One other thing that I'll say on Inter is, again, I've constantly said, I mean, listen, I think I agree with you. I think the first leg is where the game was lost. It was always going to be hard to go to Torino and go up, 2 away goals, always, especially when Juventus puts in that kind of defensive performance. But the one thing I will say is that they never have a plan B. Like, I know Conte says, I keep my plan B secret. There's no room for creativity in the attack. I mean, they play beautiful at times. Like the build-up play, don't get me wrong. Sometimes there's nice one touch. But I feel like they're not able to adapt on the fly. Meaning, if one thing is not working, if that Lukaku 1-2 is not working, there's almost nothing that goes. There's no room for the players to use their minds and build something. Like, I don't know. That's my sense of what it is.
Yeah, I agree.
Conte.
And then also the player that should be in that position, whether it be a Lautaro or even Alexis Sanchez, right? Who wasn't available for the game, they have to get control of that game. When Juventus aren't playing well, Cristiano Ronaldo comes to the pitch and scores the goal. Boom. Ibrahimovic comes to the field and scores the goal. And Inter, without, like you said, things going their way, or if they're not getting the crosses or the 1-2 with Lukaku, Inter doesn't have any other option.
I want to move on and let's run through this because we'll probably have a shorter podcast for today than anything else. Antonio, I just want to jump on this real quick. The Donnarumma contract talks. So the rumors are saying, and we have posted today, that there are some issues with Donnarumma and his contract once again. We know Mino Raiola is one of the best in the business when it comes to things like this, at getting his clients the best deals. I don't have the news in front of me, but yeah, read it. Thank you.
So it's basically like Milan want to sign Donnarumma on a 5-year deal, offering $7.5 million. But Mino actually only wants him to sign a 1 or 2 year deal so they can see other offers after this COVID pandemic. So now there's a pause in negotiation. Anto, what do you think about that briefly? Should you think Mino's just playing his little games and Donnarumma's going to sign?
And are you nervous?
I'm not nervous. I mean, it's part of the game.
You look nervous right now.
No, listen, he's part of the game, and I think Donnarumma, I will be happy even if he leaves. If he leaves AC Milan, that he goes to a great team, except for Juventus and Inter, that'll make me happy. Even if he goes to Napoli, to be honest with you, that'll make me happy. But Donnarumma is somebody that commands a lot of money, and being on the position that is been very loyal, even when he could have left the team a couple of years ago, when the AC Milan was in very bad shape. He's stuck with the team. And he had at some point, he had even the fans against him. But he's stuck with the team because he's a real fan of AC Milan. He grew up as an AC Milan fan. And he grew up as a young kid on the AC Milan fan. And what's his name? Mihajlovic gave him the opportunity at 16 years old to step on the field and showcase his skills. So I think Donnarumma, it's going to be on AC Milan for a long time. So whether it's going to be the first 2 years and then the option of another 2 years or the 5 years, I think it's meaningless. But Donnarumma, I can only see him leaving from AC Milan for a big contract, maybe going to Real Madrid or Bayern or maybe Chelsea or Manchester City or PSG.
Name all the teams.
Everybody wants him, but definitely not Inter. The guy's never going to go to Inter, even if Inter can command that kind of money. But he's never going to go to Inter. That's the bottom line. So Donnarumma, it's the greatest of all time right now, even though he's still very young. And right now, he's the best goalkeeper in the world, despite what you guys are saying and laughing on the back. It's okay. That's what we like.
Just to touch on it very, very quickly, Peter, I mean, I'm sure you have more experience in this than anybody else over here. But to me, in my eyes, it's just normal agent contract type things, especially with me.
Listen, an agent's job is to get the most for his player, right? The clubs know that he'll have other offers. And as Antonio said, everybody wants Donnarumma. And the teams outside of Italy can pay more, right? The only thing is right now, during a pandemic, there's not a lot of money coming in. So, Donnarumma at Milan could probably make this amount. He wants to secure this amount for the next couple of years. but then be able to have more money or a chance for more money next time round when things kind of get back to normal. Listen, his idea as an agent is to protect the player, because guess what? When the team needs to make sure that they protect their interests, they do that. They're not worried about the player. The only reason why they want Donnarumma is because he plays well and he's the best in his position.
That's a good perspective.
There are a few teams that they're not affected by the pandemic. PSG, Manchester United.
Because
they got money.
The one thing I would say, just quick, and then you'll go. I think people don't often put themselves in the perspective of like even the player or the agent. I mean, like everybody sees it as their team, so they want the best for them, which is fair. You know, they should want the best. But like you said, an agent job is not really. Of course, you want the relationship to be perfect, but like you said, there are so many teams that will just throw you under the bus in a heartbeat. Yeah, Anto, what were you going to say?
Okay, now I was asking Gaetano, said, if you were the agent of Donnarumma, pretend that you're Raiola right now, Mino Raiola, okay? So what would you do to secure Donnarumma and yourself? Because at the end of the game, at the end of the day, the more money Donnarumma makes, the more money you get on your pocket yourself too. So what would you do if you were the AC Milan, the AC Milan person sitting on the chair and making the contract? So in other words, let me rephrase this question here. Maybe I got it all.
I think he understood.
Well, if you are Maldini and Gazidis and Donnarumma is right there, and then Raiola is saying, okay, I want 200 million for my goalkeeper, for this goalkeeper. So if you are Maldini, what would you do? You say, okay, you know what? I'm gonna sign Donnarumma 1 year, but I'm gonna make la clausola rescissoria. In other words, I'm gonna put $150 million for any team that wants to take Donnarumma away from AC Milan. He can go at any time as long as you give us $150 million.
Anto, stop with the video.
What type of question you ask? Jesus. Anto, what kind of questions do you ask?
Hey, what kind of question? This is the question. Donnarumma is being put on the market. He's been put on the market. He's commanding a lot of money. Now, how much AC Milan is willing to suffer without Donnarumma? They're not going to give it away for nothing. So Donnarumma is the kind of a guy that might command $100 million clause before he gets sold. So would you do that?
Okay. Can I rephrase your question then?
Right,
I think what you want to say to Gaetano is, for Milan's case, would Maldini put a buyout clause in Donnarumma's contract for 150 million?
Yeah, of course. I mean, if you could do that, if you could put 100 million, yeah, why not? You put 100 million for the future of AC Milan and the history of AC Milan and what AC Milan represents. You cannot sell Donnarumma. I mean, if you want to build a team to win a Champions League next year, you cannot give away Donnarumma. How can you give away Donnarumma? And Maldini comes from that school. He comes from the school where you want to win the Champions League. You want to win Scudetto, Champions League, and the club, the world club. So you need to keep Donnarumma. But like I said, there are a couple of teams like PSG and Man United that those teams, they have the money and they have a history too. Man United does, not PSG. Man United has got that history where they want to get the best players. If you look history of Man United, they always go and they have no problem with money. So if I'm Maldini, yeah, of course, yeah, I'll put the clause in. And I don't know how that works, Peter. Can you put does that have to be done in the beginning of the season? The clause, I'm not sure how that works.
Well, not so much you have to put in the beginning of season. Just both parties have to agree. So actually, agents love the buyout clause because what happens is now you can go to the highest bidder as far as salary because the price is going to be that amount. Haaland, there's been reports that Haaland, who's also Mino Raiola's client, he left with the buyout clause for 40 million. And then there's reports, I don't know how true, that they were able to agree on an agency fee of like, 20 million. So that's not 10%. Yeah, that's not 10%. So they agreed outside kind of thing. So they love the buyout clause.
Speaking
Yeah, but
of
in that case, Napoli, I think wanted to get rid of him, so it's a little bit easier. When the other team, in this case, AC Milan does not want to get rid of Donnarumma.
Yeah,
I don't know how this question took up all of our time. From it's such a hypothetical, guys. On to facts. Juventus's defense, they have not conceded. They've conceded 1 goal in their past 7 games. Pirlo said that he's very lucky to have the 4 Ds. Did it? No. I lost my train of thought. It's not 4 Ds. It's 2 Ds, and then Chiellini and Bonucci. The four center backs. 4 center backs. 4 center backs. Mike,
Dunkin' Donuts. Dunkin' Donuts.
You said 2 Ds.
So, which is Demiral, De Ligt, Bonucci, and Chiellini. Is this the best center backs in the world?
No,
Potentially all 4 together?
No, I'm not saying it. Go ahead.
No, not even close.
Gaetano, Dad, I want your thoughts first.
Well, if we look at Chiellini, it's definitely one of the top defenders. If you look at Bonucci, one of the top defenders. If you see what they've done with the Juventus and with the national team, and now you look at De Ligt, one of the most, one of the best young defender around. So yeah, why not?
I think if like Giuseppe just said over here, I'm looking at it from a depth perspective. I mean, I don't know where you find better center backs like that in the world. Juventus, like you were just saying, I mean, Chiellini, when he plays, I mean, is unbelievable. We're seeing just a hungry beast that wants to be out there on the pitch. And then Demiral, who truly had a sensational performance against Inter with De Ligt in the important matches. We talk about so many players, and it gets under my skin talking about players who put in great performances in the games that I don't want to say don't matter, but realistically don't matter as much as the ones against the big teams, because that's when you really need to perform. And yes, 3 points is 3 points no matter who you go up against. But guess what? If you want to be at the top, you got to be beating and putting in performances against the best teams. I don't care what you say. So for me, that is weighed a little bit more. So Antonio, I know you're going to disagree, so let's give you your
I do,
moment.
because I'm going to tell you the reasons why. First of all, those 2 guys, the Bonucci and Chiellini, they are with 1.5 foot on a grave and the other half a foot on the banana peel. That's
Have you seen Chiellini play?
Let me tell you something. Let me finish. Okay. So those 2 guys, they didn't even play the second leg, the first half of the second leg of Juventus Inter. Why? Because they don't have it anymore.
Demiral were amazing.
Those guys,
they have a leg and a half on the grave.
Listen, it's going to be next year that you're not even going to see those 2 guys anymore on the Juventus team. So for you to just put them within the best 4 defender of the world, it's a fantasy. There are so many other players that right now they're much better than Bonucci and Chiellini. Those guys, they were very good. No more. It's over.
One second, Anto. We're saying that we're not saying that they're the 4 best defenders in the world. We're saying that on any team, find any team that has a better 4 defenders together. Like, you understand what I'm saying? Like, depth-wise.
Well, I don't know. Again, listen. I have seen Bonucci this year. I have seen Bonucci doing a lot of garbage. I have seen what's his name, De Ligt, making a lot of mistake. So I don't know. To be honest with you, on the paper, I like, as much as I hate Peter and Inter, I like more the 3 center defender that Inter has over there. I like Bastoni, I like De Vrij, and I like Skriniar. Much better than the other 3 or the other 4 that you are naming over there. I don't know. This is personal. I mean, I don't like to be bragging about Inter, but if we're talking about excellent defenders and on the top of their career, I would pick up those 3 guys instead of Bonucci, Chiellini, and Demiral and De Ligt. Demiral and De Ligt, they are a little too young. Bonucci and Chiellini, they're too old. If you could take a mixer and just put them in and just get them, get shape some of the age from Bonucci and Chiellini and mix up with the age of the elite and the Miral, then you make them at 27 years old average. Then you get a great defender.
How are you talking about?
Right there,
Otto, what is going on?
right there, you have two defenders that they make for 70 years and another two that they make for 40 years. So what do you make of it? So those the two defenders worked in 70 years. You just discard them. You just put them on the side. So they're no longer part of the conversation.
Antonio, are we mixing them for a smoothie or for a milkshake?
Yeah,
Milkshake. Okay, just to be clear.
Milkshakes are good. I haven't had one in a long time. Yeah. Speaking about milkshakes, Cassano was rated the #1 wasted talent by friends.
I thought you were going to say best ever player.
Anto, what is your reaction to that?
My reaction is, you know why they're doing that? Because they know that he's the best. They all know, and you guys know it too. He's one of the best talent. Okay, he's one of the best talent. Look at your father. That was going to get another attack before I finish to speak. But anyway, listen, Cassano is one of the few that has got balls, cojones. Okay,
does he manscape?
He's going to tell you, well, we don't know about that.
Okay,
we'll send them one.
So we know what Cassano did when he was a player. We know what he could have done, and we still know with the skills and the potentiality that Cassano had, and they can still have it. To me, Cassano, you guys can laugh about it as much as you want, but I don't discount what Totti ever said about him. According to Totti, he was one of the best 2 or 3 midfielders on the world, not of Italy and Europe.
Do you have that tattooed on your forehead?
I cannot understand how we always ended up with Cassano. We can talk about Donnarumma, Bonucci, Chiellini, but we always ended up with Cassano.
That's the GOAT. That's the GOAT.
I think you're a gem.
That's the GOAT.
Guys, let's just one more topic, 1 or 2 more topics real quick. There was a cool story from Mourinho and Maicon where I don't know if you guys saw it, but Mourinho, just to explain to the audience, Mourinho was telling a story that Maicon, right before Christmas time, they were playing a match against Siena. Thank you. And Maicon wanted to get another yellow card so that he would get suspended and could go on vacation for Christmas in Brazil. So he tried to make a deal with Mourinho. He said, all right, if I score, can I get the yellow card so I go on vacation? And Mourinho said, no, you got to score twice. He goes, if you score twice, you'll get the yellow card. So Maicon scored twice. He took off his shirt. He got the yellow card. And Mourinho said he gave him even an extra week of vacation. Any reaction to this? Antonio's too busy reading the comments.
Oh, I love the comments, man. I love it. I can live without this stuff here. To me. Oh, brother. Listen, I am more interested on the comment than the BS that sometimes you guys are talking about. You guys have no idea about Cassano and all that stuff. You guys should just grow a pair of balls and just take it as it is. You know?
No, about the comment, I don't know if those comments are true or not. I'll take the 2 goals and a yellow card. This guy in a season, he will score 80 goals.
Fair enough. Last topic that I see we have added into over here. Musso, a goalkeeper that we spoke about a lot. I mean, I've said that my prediction is that he ends up at Inter. That's just my out there prediction. No, I mean, there are some rumors about it, but nothing concrete. Roma are interested also in Musso. Paul Lopez has not, I guess, fully convinced everybody at Roma. Guys, any thoughts about Musso potentially to Roma or even Inter? We could expand the conversation, Mike.
I mean, I think Musso's in this time of his career that he's ready to make the leap to a bigger team. He showed that he's a pretty quality keeper. And he reminds me a lot like Perin. He's a great shot stopper. Maybe not the best with the ball at his feet, but I think he can definitely grow at a club like Inter, like a club like Roma, top 6 club like that. But regardless of where he goes, I want him to make the move. I want to see if he's actually ready to become that goalkeeper that everyone wants him to be. And I actually seen a few games where he makes some incredible saves. So I say Juan, go for the move. Let's see what you got, and good luck.
Anybody else before we conclude?
No, Donnarumma. They're interested in Donnarumma.
Yeah, that one's not gonna happen. Anto, any thoughts or no?
Well, listen, whatever I say, you guys going to be laughing about it. So from time to time, I'd rather not to say it because, I don't want to steer trouble. And I'll stick with my guns. I think Donnarumma is still one of the best, if he's not the best goalkeeper of the world. Musso's got great skills. I like him a lot. I like even the Cagliari's goalkeeper. What's his name?
Cragno.
Yeah, Cragno. I like Cragno. And then we have 3 or 4 very good goalkeepers in Italy. So those could all be... they could all be back up for Donnarumma when we play the big competition on the European or the World Championship, and it's great for Italy to have all of those options. I think Musso is not Italian, if I'm not mistaken.
Argentinian.
He's Argentinian.
That's what I'm saying. Well, I know. I have a friend of mine, Sal Musso, but he's Italian. It's from Carino. But I figure that this Musso here, even though it sounds Italian like a last name,
Probably
but he comes
origins from
Italian
Italy.
family, right?
Yeah.
Anto, one question to end. If Conte gave the finger to Cassano, what do you think would have happened?
Oh, Cassano will kick his ass in front of everybody and will make sure that the camera are pointing to him while he's doing it. First of all, Conte will never attempt to kick Cassano's ass because he knows what he's going to get back. Cassano comes from from Barivecchia, okay? In Barivecchia, nobody kicks anybody's ass over there, especially somebody. Un Barivecchiano never get his ass kicked, okay? So, because it's a disgrace. If somebody knows that you are from Barivecchia and somebody kicked your ass, that is bad news. You do not want to leave over there. You have to pack up and leave. So I will highly recommend Conte not even to dream about that, having an opportunity like that, because he's going to get, for one kick, he's getting 200 back. So
what's the movie where they hack into somebody's dreams? Inception. They better not hack into Conte's dreams because
no, it's bad news. Bad news. I'm telling you. And the rivalry between Bari and Lecce is known for a long time. Even though Conte never played for Lecce, but the fact that he's coming from that region, it makes it even more trouble because un Leccese kicking a Barese's ass, not happening.
Guys, before we leave, anything that anyone wants to add?
I think Conte did play for Lecce.
Did he?
Just to say.
He did?
Yeah.
But very briefly, if he did, right?
Yeah, in the beginning.
Yeah, we're going to have a prediction on the Napoli-Juventus game.
Juventus will win.
Wait.
I agree.
Are they playing in Torino or they're playing in Napoli? Not that it makes any difference anyway. Where do they play? Napoli-Torino, Napoli-Juventus, or Juventus-Napoli? What is it?
Michael's finding out. I think it's Napoli.
They're playing in Napoli because the first game, Napoli didn't want to go to Torino.
Yeah.
Holy crap!
So they got.
So this is the makeup. This is the makeup game, or
No, the first one. The second
one. Game.
Well, I would say it's going to be a tie. It's a tie. Nobody's going to win that game.
I think Juventus is going to win.
No, Napoli is going to tie the game. It's going to tie. They might win too. Napoli tie and win. And I don't think Napoli is losing against Juventus. It's not going to lose.
All right, and then the Champions League. We'll talk about it on Monday night.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Peter and Mike, did you guys give your prediction? No.
It's hard to tell.
Guys are trying to get out of it. You see this, guys.
Napoli without their defense, I think Juventus should win. But Gattuso, can he really afford losing to Juventus after losing to Atalanta and all this stuff? I don't know.
Mike,
yeah, I'm scared.
Conclude it.
I love Gattuso so much. I'm giving him a benefit of the doubt. I'm giving him a draw over here, and he keeps his job till June. Forza Rino, Forza Gattuso, Forza Napoli.
Sounds good, guys. Thank you guys for watching. Antonio, I'm glad that we got your camera on. Thank you for everybody that was joining and watching. Antonio appreciates all your comments, as do the rest of us.
I wish I could keep them on even after we finish the podcast, but you guys, they scroll down and I don't get to see them anymore.
Thank you.
Yeah,
Thank you guys.
Very fast.
Guys,
Thank you guys. I think he donated some money, but I don't know. It was too fast.
Yeah, it says here.
Something
It
about
says,
Napoli.
I hope Napoli don't lock the stadium for Juve.
All right. Good one.
All right, guys.
Very good.
gonna end.
Thank you. Thank you, everybody.
As always, thank you guys for everybody that's watching. Make sure you like and subscribe if you have not already. We appreciate it. There's so many comments today. So we appreciate all of you guys. We'll be live Monday night. And for actually tomorrow, we're live.
No, Saturday and Sunday.
I have no idea what day it is.
Yeah.
Guys, as always, thank you for watching. We'll talk to you soon. Ciao,
Ciao,
ragazzi.
guys.